I've seen it happen more times than I can count. A once productive garden suddenly stops responding. Plants refuse to grow, seedlings stall, and even the weeds seem to lose their edge. The soil looks fine, dark, crumbly and moist, but beneath the surface something vital has shut down. What's happening is a phenomenon known as soil dormancy, and understanding it separates casual gardeners from true stewards of the land. This isn't just a seasonal issue, it's a biological shutdown that can cripple your growing system if left unchecked. But here's the good news. With the right knowledge, you can bring that soil back to life faster than you'd think. Soil dormancy begins when the microbial engine shuts down. At its core, soil dormancy isn't about the dirt itself. It's about the life within it. Healthy soil is an ecosystem buzzing with microorganisms. Bacteria, fungi, nematodes, protozoa and microarthropods all working together to cycle nutrients and keep plants fed. When those microorganisms go inactive, the soil effectively dies, even if it looks normal to the naked eye. The causes vary: cold temperatures, prolonged drought, chemical overuse, or lack of organic matter. But the effect is always the same. Media group, wilted plants in dry soil, cracked ground during drought, garden with sparse growth after chemical overuse, barren soil lacking mulch or organic matter stock, distribute. Equally, the biological activity drops, nutrient exchange slows, and plant growth grinds to a halt. One of the clearest signs of dormant soil is when decomposition stops. Dead leaves and organic debris remain intact longer than usual, indicating that the microbial decomposers aren't doing their job. Another sign is when fertilizers stop having any effect, because without active microbes, nutrients stay locked up and unavailable to roots. Think of it as a power outage in the underground network. The switch flips off, and everything above ground feels the consequence. Moisture imbalance is one of the main triggers of soil dormancy. Water is the bloodstream of the soil ecosystem. Too little and microbes go into survival mode, forming spores or cysts that can withstand dry conditions. Too much and oxygen gets pushed out, suffocating aerobic life and causing anaerobic bacteria to take over. In both cases, biological activity plummets. This is why soil that alternates between extremes, drying out completely, then being flooded, often struggles to recover. The key to preventing this is, consistent moisture regulation. In practical terms, that means keeping the soil covered with mulch or living plants to reduce evaporation and maintain stable hydration. A layer of straw, wood chips or compost not only traps moisture, but also feeds microbial life as it breaks down. In a controlled garden system, like raised beds or greenhouse setups, using moisture meters can help maintain the balance that keeps microbes active. Nutrient exhaustion silently pushes soil into dormancy. Even the most fertile soil can burn out if it's constantly producing without being replenished. Every harvest pulls nutrients out, and unless those minerals are replaced, the soil community runs out of food. Over time, beneficial bacteria and fungi die off or go dormant from starvation. The soil becomes compact, hydrophobic, and lifeless. Reactivation begins with feeding the microbes, not the plants. Start with organic amendments, rotted manure, compost, worm castings, or fermented plant juice to reintroduce carbon and nitrogen sources. Mixing in green materials like grass clippings with browns, like dried leaves, helps rebalance the carbon to nitrogen ratio that microbes rely on for energy. For example, a gardener restoring a dead patch might dig in a mix of composted kitchen waste and old straw, water it thoroughly, and leave it covered for a week. Within days, the microbial heat returns, signalling that the biological system is back online. Soil compaction and a lack of oxygen, they truly suffocate microbial life. You see, when soil is overworked, trampled, or left exposed to heavy rain, it compresses and loses its structure. The spaces between particles, the pores that allow air and water movement, well, they just collapse. Without oxygen, aerobic microbes suffocate and die, leaving behind a stagnant layer where only anaerobic bacteria can survive. The result is often foul-smelling, sticky soil that resists both roots and rain. Now, to reverse this, aeration is essential. For small gardens, you can achieve this manually by loosening the soil with a fork or broad fork. In larger plots, cover crops like daikon radish, clover or rye are natural aerators. As their roots penetrate the soil and eventually decay, they open channels that restore airflow and microbial mobility. Once air returns, oxygen-loving organisms bounce back quickly and the soil's internal chemistry stabilizes. Quite fascinating, isn't it? Temperature and seasonal shifts also control soil activity. In cold climates, microbial activity slows to a crawl as temperatures drop below 10 degrees Celsius or 50 degrees Fahrenheit. This is a natural dormancy, and it usually reverses on its own with warmth. However, if soil enters winter, depleted of organic matter or moisture, it may not recover properly in spring. The microbes that survive the cold emerge into a barren environment and fail to multiply. Reactivating soil quickly requires restoring the microbial balance. Once you've identified that your soil has gone dormant, the fastest way to revive it is by reintroducing microbial life directly. One effective method is through compost teas or fermented biosolutions. A well-brewed compost tea, made by aerating mature compost in water for 24 to 36 hours, delivers billions of live microbes straight to the soil. When applied to dormant earth, it repopulates the microbial network almost instantly. Another rapid reactivation method involves layering fresh organic matter under mulch and watering with diluted molasses. The sugars feed the surviving microbes, kick-starting their metabolism and accelerating decomposition. Gardeners who've used this method often notice visible changes within a week. Soil becomes darker, softer, and more fragrant as life returns. Dormant soil isn't dead, it's simply waiting for the right spark. Every handful of dirt contains the potential for rebirth. The microbes that appear inactive are often in a protective state, ready to reactivate when conditions improve. By restoring moisture, oxygen, organic matter, and microbial inoculants, you can awaken even the most tired soil in a matter of days. The process mirrors nature's own recovery cycle after a drought or flood, slow, steady, and perfectly balanced. So the next time your garden seems stuck, don't rush to dump fertilizers or start over. Look deeper, check the moisture, aerate the ground, feed it organic matter, and reintroduce microbial life. Treat your soil as a living organism, not an inert medium. When you do, the transformation is undeniable. Plants rebound, roots spread freely, and fertility returns naturally. If this breakdown helped you understand what's really happening beneath your garden, make sure to subscribe to Hydro Haven for more deep dives into soil science, natural fertility restoration, and regenerative growing methods. Share this video to spread the knowledge, because once you learn how to wake up the soil, you never garden the same way again.